The results here are provided for general information purposes as a convenience to you, the viewers. The materials are not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person, firm, or corporation. One more slide. This is not a solicitation to buy or sell any security ever. This is not advice. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. That goes for all of life, by the way, not just trading. You should read the characteristics and risks of standardized options available on the OCC website. Okay, this is the agenda. We just did the agenda slide. I'm going to talk about trading generally. Okay, this is nothing about a product I'm selling or a software I'm selling or my AI. This is just trading generally. I think if you're having trouble with success trading, broadly speaking, I'll bring up 3 things that I think you have to have. It's not my software. 3 things you have to have to be a successful trader. I am a former hedge fund manager. I am a former option market maker on the NYC ARCA and CBOE exchange floor. I'm a former managing director of quantitative research, and there's more than $1 trillion in assets under management and models that I've created. Okay? So this is what I've learned from trading generally before I talk to you about anything else. All right, so let's talk about that. As I said, if you've not had success, there's a chance it's mistakes here that explain your performance. All right, so great. Let's do it. For those of you that have followed me on TV or with my company throughout the decades, you've heard me say that for a successful trading career, I'm talking about the long arc of a career, like not Thursday and not next week and not, in Jackson Hole. I mean, 9 or 10 months out of a year. I mean, 9 out of 10 years. For the long arc of a career, I believe that option traders need a portfolio of trades. Okay, great. What's a portfolio of trades? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. You will need long volatility. If you don't know what long volatility is, that's okay. It just means being long options. Like a debit, buy a call spread, something like that. You also need to be short volatility. If you don't know what short volatility means, that's okay. It means being short options. Let's say selling a put spread, something like that. You're going to need to know how to work in 4 markets. A lot of people who are not traders think there's only 2 markets. There's a bull market and a bear market. And as a trader, you know very well that there are 4 markets. So you got to have strategies for a bull market and you got to have strategies for a bear market. But more times than not, it's neither a bull nor a bear we're dealing with as traders. We're dealing with going in between a bull and a bear. So that's a recovering market. It's going from a bear to a bull, or a falling market going from a bull to a bear. In less than 20 minutes, you're going to have all of this. So this is a preamble. It may seem esoteric. I'll make it very explicit and hands-on. But broadly speaking, this is what I mean by a portfolio of trades. Now, since I'm going to be sharing an actual portfolio of alerts, so an actual portfolio of trades, okay, that's my job. You also have a job. And I'm going to tell you your job. So very early in the webinar, so if you don't want to do your job, you don't have to listen to me anymore. You can go enjoy your Thursday. Right? Your job is this. A lot of people say they want to do something. But what they really mean is they like the idea of doing something. And if you don't know what I mean by those two, I'll make it really clear. All of us as humans have thoughts that make us happy. I don't know, we want to run a marathon. We want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know. We want to be successful traders. We want to bench 350 pounds. I don't know. We want to be better parents. Whatever it is. Okay. That's called being human, letting our minds think of things that make us feel better, because oftentimes life is miserable. Now, the difference between liking the idea of doing something and wanting to do it is this. If you have those really positive thoughts and you get a warm feeling in your belly and you feel good, but you never really do anything to pursue it, then you like the idea of it. And I just want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. You should like the ideas of lots of things, right? That's kind of the spice of life. That makes our minds not tortured. Okay, but I'm not here to be existential. I'm here to talk about trading. So I'm talking about trading, not being a good parent or Mount Kilimanjaro or a marathon or benching 350 pounds. So the difference between liking the idea of something and liking the idea of something and wanting it is that you not only have the positive thoughts, but you then take steps to do it. So you like the idea of a marathon. It means you like thinking about it and running, but you never do it. You want to do it, Then you think about it and you start trading. So that's it. So in my opinion, if you want to be a successful trader and you're able to disentangle the difference in your own mind between wanting something and liking the idea of it. And by the way, either one is fine. There's nothing wrong with liking the idea of things. Almost all of us like the idea of things more than we want to do things, which is like it just makes us feel good. Now, if you really want to be a successful trader, then you will be focusing on the following three things, and you'll very clearly see right now at the end of the slide where you fall. Because if I show you these three things, and you say, "Yeah, that's cool, no thanks," then you don't want it, and that's okay. Don't do it because you don't want to be trading if you don't really want it. Because this is a thing that can actually make you lose money, right? You're not going to really hurt yourself if you think about being a marathon runner and you do it once, you're like, I forget it, I quit. Okay, you're not going to hurt yourself. This you can actually hurt yourself. Here's what you need. It's three things, and three things only, I think. First is a process. In finance, we call it a plan. And with this plan, you need to write it down. You don't think about the plan. You don't kind of jot it down on a piece of paper or scratch, email to yourself. You write it down step by step. A plan is written down clearly and explicitly such that some other human could come into your brain and read it and know what you meant. Second thing is you're going to need patience. That's with the plan and with yourself. Okay. So for some people, this is a total triviality. They're just like, yeah, of course. And they're blessed people. Patient people are blessed people. I am not patient. This was the hardest thing for me. I'm a Stanford trained mathematician, financial mathematician. I've run huge models. Patience was the hardest thing for me in trading. It just was. So know thyself. Patience is either the hardest thing or the easiest thing, but it's only the hardest or the easiest thing. So for those of you that are blessed with patience, you know, it's a really good character trait. And if you're blessed with impatience like me, then we have work to do. And the third thing you'll need to be a successful trader is effort. And I have some good news for effort and some bad news. So I'm gonna start with the bad news because I like to finish on a good note. The bad news about effort is that it's probably not going to be as easy as you want it to be. So if you're like, yeah, I want to be a trader and I want to have a plan process and I think I can learn or I have patience and I want to put in the effort, it's probably going to be harder than you think. That's the bad news. Here's the good news. It's also probably going to be more satisfying than you think. And the reason it's going to be more satisfying than you think is because it's harder than you think. Those two go together. Welcome to humanity. These are the three things. If at this point in the webinar, you think, I don't want to do any of those three things, I think I've saved you money. Stop trading.